Hey mate, you right?
Yeah, fantastic. Sean, 7 games left, 3 of those are at home, but the atmosphere today was quite flat, and you could sense the nerves and kind of anxiety around the place. That must sort of get to the players a little bit as well. Do you feel in the remaining games that, I mean, 2 of the home games, Newcastle and City, who are fighting for stuff, do you feel maybe you might be better away from home when that anxiety's not there?
To be honest, one thing for sure is I won't be questioning the fans here, because since I've been here, they've been absolutely amazing. Everyone knows that. And as soon as we scored, they got right behind the team. But it's a dual thing anyway, fans. You know, I said when I got here, we've got to give them something and they give us something back, or vice versa. They sometimes give you something as a team and the energy. But it's a dual responsibility, you know, and we started a bit edgy, they started a bit edgy, we scored, well they scored, we scored, and then they erupted and got right behind it, and then that sort of thing. So, and after their second goal, we didn't give them enough to go on. You know, you've got to give the fans something to go on. So I won't be questioning that. The away form was poor for the last 2 years. There's no point, you know, I can't brush that away, that's the truth. So you've got 2 years of correction. So what we've been trying to do is correct the mentality of away form and the performance level, because they're hand in hand. So that's the challenge. It's been there for 2 seasons. So that's the correction that we're looking for. It's work, it's constant talking with the players, constant work on the training ground, and building that mentality. And I must remind you, games like today are hard. There's no 2 ways about it to take, and the results I'd take. But there has been definite steps forward with that. They've been quite obvious. Everyone's been speaking about it. So a correction today in that needs to be corrected back the other way, because there has been strides forward from some of these players, the mentality, taking performances away from home as well. Today was a start reminder, you've got to start it all the time. And another word I've been using all the time is consistency. During a performance, not just consistency every week, I mean actually during the 90 minutes, that consistency wasn't there today.
How do you get the players to play with bravery and courage, Sean? When obviously the situation is very bad. You've only got a few games left. How do you get that bravery?
That is part of being a Premier League player. You have to deal with stress, pressure all of the time. So that's part of their learning. Isha, young kid today, is on the bench, said, brilliant game for you, son. So because you'll experience what it really is. Because the good stuff always looks after itself. You've got a 16-year-old kid there looking at the game going, right, what's this all about? That's the reality. You know, that's when your growth really comes, is in these times, because a good day always looks after itself, or virtually always. But when the hard days come, what do you learn from that? How can you correct your performance? How can you grow from that? So that's the truth of the market that we're in, and that's the truth of the players there, to grow from this, not to go, woe is us. That gets parked. What about building on it? What about that's a reminder? What about us taking strides forward like we have been and correcting it? That's the challenge now.
Paul? Just on the strides forward, you got 6 points from your first 3 games, 6 from your next 8, I think it is. So are you still confident that?
Yeah, absolutely. You may have noticed we've played some pretty handy teams in there, you know.
Yeah, but
you're
going to be playing.
No, you've asked me a question. I've just given you the answer.
But you're going to be playing handy teams in the next 7 games.
Absolutely, and there lies the truth of the Premier League, right as you talk about it.
But you don't think that the performances have started to bottom out after the initial?
I don't think so. I mean, you might tell me different. We went to Man U, have been beaten once this season, and that's the first time really when we've had a proper reality check on performances, with a group that has been hit, obviously, with injuries and suspension. So, but that isn't an excuse, that's just a reality. And I like to talk in realities when I can.
So what gives you the hope that with the games that you've got left that you'll get
the fact that I still believe there's a very good group of players here. Duke will come out of his suspension. The injuries will get fit. Then you look at the group and go, right, let's take it on. It's right there in front of us.
Yeah.
Just one last one from Chris.
Sean, you mentioned the injuries in the camp. Obviously, James Garner, his first Premier League start today. Mixed bag for him. What are your thoughts on how he played and how good?
Yeah, I mean, he applied himself well. It's tough walking into the Premier League, especially in a performance like that, but he kept at it, kept trying to do well, kept trying to do the basics. He'll grow and learn as time goes on. Obviously, at the minute, it's got to be a fast-track learning, but there's a few players out there. Parto's a young player still. You know, you forget that. These are developing players. They're not rounded Premier League bona fide players. They've got to develop and learn about that. And yeah, again, these are tough times for them to learn through, but that's the challenge.
Guys, just to reiterate, all the questions from Steve's first one onwards, embargo till 10:30 on Sunday night.
Oh, you lads, you're all right. You'll do, mate, as always. You well? Good. See you, all right.